Welcome back to the show called Daytime York Region. We welcome now to the program comedian Rasul Somji, a York Region resident as well. Rasul, when did you get your start in comedy, stand-up comedy? Hi, welcome.
1999 I started doing stand-up.
And were you always a funny guy, making people laugh?
I was a clown in high school. I went to Bayview, and then I did a Bayview, McGivney. I was a clown, class clown. When I graduated, went to college, but then I always wanted to get into something like this. So, you know, I just happened to go to Yuck Yucks one day and say, you know what, I like to try doing this. So I went there, I met up with Russell Peters. You guys probably heard of him?
He is so funny.
Yeah.
We love Russell Peters.
Yeah. So from there I went on and on doing it.
But it's worth mentioning that you weren't born here. You were born in Tanzania, East Africa.
I was born in,
So you came here. Tell me what that's like, you know, coming here at 14 years old. I mean, what a culture shock that must have been.
Yeah. It was crazy, because I remember when I came in 1993 and I went to school, and back in Africa, it's like when you go to school, as soon as the teacher walks into class, everyone stands up to greet the teacher.
Yeah.
So when I came here, I went to school, and as soon as my teacher walked in, and I started standing up.
You stood up?
I stood up, and I'm like, how come no one's standing up? So I just kind of played it off. I was like, oh, I'm looking for something, right? So that was weird. And then
I like that. Actually, I think that should catch on here. Every time I walk, everyone listening, every time I walk, I don't care. Every time I walk in the room, everybody stand up.
All right.
All right.
Show respect.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
It's all about respect.
If it wasn't for him, you guys would be fired.
So I'm sure experiences like that, and probably maybe even your family, your upbringing, does that work its way into your act?
I have to. I have to talk about the differences, because even like when I first came here, when I saw like a friend of mine, it was a black dude, right? And I thought that he's from Africa. I thought all black people are from Africa. Sorry. So I started talking to him in Swahili, and he's like, "I don't speak that language." I'm, what do you mean, you're black? He goes, "I don't speak that language." But why? So it was, you know, it was very, it was surprising. And then you're asking me about, do I talk about family? All the time. In fact, I was working. I got a job on a boat cruise. Last year. So I was trying to tell my grandmother that I got a job to work on a ship, and she doesn't really understand English. So I'm like, no, I'll be working on a ship. I'll be working on a ship. She goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, boat. And she is wild. She goes, son, boat? Why do you want to work on a boat? We got off the boat. Why do you want to go back?
She's got a point.
so I have to, because that's how she looks at it, right? So you always have to compare the East versus the West. But then it all comes down to a single idea of living and learning and growing, you know what I mean, and having fun.
Is it ever risky for you to do jokes about your religion or other religions?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Because of religion, you have all this crazy mess happening in the country, in Iraq, and in the world. Period. You know what I mean? So, bringing humor to religion is very important. Otherwise, you will end up becoming people like Bin Laden. Especially what I do is I tend to focus on my religion, which is a Muslim religion, and I show a different aspect of that. Do you know what I mean? It's something different. But lately, I've been taking two religions and putting into one, which is I'm walking a very thin line. Like lately, I've been talking about how I think I should start the peace treaty. I think I should go out with a Jewish girl, since I'm Muslim. Like, you know what I mean?
Do your part.
So
spread the love.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I don't believe I said that, but
you obviously have that thinking that you know, you can find comedy in anything, but I'm sure there's many other Muslims that would disagree with you.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that not a lot of Muslims may have a sense of humor about.
You see the mark here? No, I mean, at first people were not really they weren't really ready to grasp on that, right? But now they are saying, well, if they're not offended, why should we? And they're learning to grow with me. At times, I had a hard time. Sure.
How about your parents, your family?
Honestly, they are. It's whatever makes me happy. They're like, you just do whatever makes you happy. After all, it's gonna be me who's gonna get beat up, right? And then I know where I go. I told you. I told you.
And do they laugh at your jokes as well? Do they find the humor in it?
They don't. they don't really think it's funny at all. Because,
cricket?
Yeah, because to them, they can't really understand they don't understand this culture. You know what I mean? But then they find me funny if I'm talking in our own language, or if I'm referring to something happened to my brother, my sister, and they're gonna laugh at that.
Can you say something in Swahili?
Yeah.
Okay. How about say you have lovely watermelons in your garden?
I don't know if I can. How about if I say something, because it's gonna sound very sexual. That's why.
All right. Let's not go for sexual.
No.
How about if I say something that you can use?
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Say Jina Langu George.
Jina Langu George.
Perfect.
I'm guessing that's my name is George.
Yes.
Jina Langu George.
Yeah. And besides, I didn't know what you call watermelon in Swahili.
Oh, okay.
So I better get out of this one.
There you go.
What was looking back at all the performances that you've done, what's the strangest show, or the one that sticks out in your mind the most?
Well, okay. We did a show called Funny Jews and Muslim. That was premiered at Yuck Yucks. And it was very touchy. It was very, it was like right after September 11th. So that show was like the hardest show I've ever done, because for the first time when I was at Yuck Yucks, I had Muslim people come to the show with scarf, and the owner, Mark Breslin, changed up the whole menu to halal food.
Oh, really?
And it was like, and I had to break the ice, because I am like one of the only Muslim comic around in Canada, especially York region, the same. And that was like the hardest show for me to do, because it was hit and miss. And if I bombed, pretty much all that money that was put in to this festival would go down the drain. So that was the hardest.
So it went well?
A lot of pressure on you, too.
It was amazing. It was sold out. We had a sold-out show in Canada, and then I was invited to go to Chicago with Preacher Moss, the Lopez show writer. So it was, thank God it was a success.
Do you live off that pressure? Do you thrive off that? Because, I mean, I can't imagine, stepping out on stage and having people stare at you and waiting, hey, make me laugh now.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All the time. It's, personally, it's not as hard as it used to be before, because I've been doing this for 7-8 years. I'm comfortable being on stage now, but off stage I don't talk to people. I talk, but people come up to me saying, make me laugh now. That's the hardest. I'd rather be on stage than be off stage.
In the environment. Thanks so much for coming in.
Sure.
You have some performances coming up, and we can check those out on your website, which is just flashed up